What up, homies? Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. I want to say thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for viewing my content. Thank you from God, your spiritual team, your guides, your guardians, your ancestors, for taking the time out of your day to hear what Spirit has to say. Again, I want to say thank you guys for all the positive feedback. I greatly appreciate you. Today we have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Now, your dates are September 12th to September 22nd. This is an Earth sign card. The answer to any question you might have right now is yes. Virgo ruled by Mercury, and this is a root chakra card. In the reverse, it says financial disputes, bankruptcy, fleeting success, debt, family conflicts or burdens, instability, rocky or loose foundations. So from the outside looking in, that would be how somebody viewed me. So this could be, because like once I first saw this card, the first thing I wanted to say was, I mean, like, I know Ten of Pentacles stand for abundance, right? I mean, it's pentacles, it's coins, okay? Coins is abundance. But like, I wanted to say, like, to be honest with you, you know, who gives a shit, right? Who gives a shit, okay? Material will never be what it is that gets you through in this world. It never will be. The things that you can get with material, sure, okay? But like, there's lots and lots and lots of things that you can't get with material possession, okay? You can get attention, right? You know, which could bring you opportunities and possibilities. I understand that, but a lot of the opportunities and possibilities you're going to be getting by getting attention through material things is not the kind of attention you want to get, especially if you're seeking to get attention, because that means that you're going to latch on to the first thing that comes your way, okay? A person that is not worried, right, about material things, once attention comes their way, they're going to sit back and they're going to be like, okay. And once conflict comes their way, or once an individual comes at them, all right, okay, right? I want to say, like, in a way, the way to be about it is like Gandhi, right? Or Jesus being forgiven, or forgiving of everything. But I think that it's more like Bruce Lee, more like be like water. Somebody throws a stick at you, you just dodge the stick. Okay. You try to hit me with a stick. Right? Is that all you came here to do? Okay. They swing again, you move it. Right? That's it. Okay. That person is going to wear themselves out. That situation is going to wear itself out. Or those problems, you know, problems are only problems until you get your next opportunity. That's just how that is, okay? And financial disputes, well, I mean, like, I know with me, I have a lot of, where do I put my money at? You know, I got to rob Paul to pay Piper. You know what I mean? Rob Paul to pay Peter, whatever, Piper, but it works. And bankruptcy, I mean, I considered it a couple times, but to be quite honest with you, I'm the kind of person that I'm going to keep everything going and pay exactly what I can and not worry about what I can't pay, because you can't squeeze blood out of a turnip, okay? And the only way I'll go into bankruptcy is if they force me into bankruptcy. Until then, I'm going to own mine, and I'm going to work a second job. And as soon as I can, I'm going to get everything back on the up and up. That's just how I do, okay? So, I mean, you know, you have, there's different types of fights, okay? But you have, talking about physical fights, you have the type of fight that you can tap out of and the type of fight that you can't tap out of, okay? And in the fight that you can tap out of, which is likely what you have with financial situations, you can hit the bankruptcy button, right? And know that you're going to be messed over for, I think it's 7 years, okay? Until it doesn't show up on your credit anymore, right? But at the same time, your best bet really is just to do what you can do and not worry about what you can't do, okay? I'm going to dodge a stick. I'm going to dodge a stick. Oh, I got hit once. Oh, shit. All right. I mean, it's going to happen, okay? But you got to be willing to take it and just keep on striding, okay? If they take your shoes out from underneath you, you better walk in them socks, right? Them socks get holes in them, but then I guess we down to feet now, okay? That's just what you got to do. Because I'm going to tell you that no matter when you get hit, because you're going to get hit, and I got hit, that's what put me here, right? You know, the rug getting swept out from underneath me, you know, all that sort of stuff. And so, what you call it, just thinking about how true that whole statement was. What you call it, though, God will never take everything away from you, right? And I mean, unless you deserve it. If you deserve it, then God's will be done, right? But God's never going to take everything away from you, especially if you're living on the up and up, okay? At the end of the day, when you need stability, when you need success, and when you need to know that you're strong and that you can do what it is that you need to do, you need to ask yourself, how do I live? Who am I on the inside? Am I, you know, there's a lot of issue, at least for me, when it comes to labeling myself, right? So like calling myself a good person or calling myself achieved in this aspect, right? You guys can't tell it because I'm homeless and I gotta wear what keeps me warm right now, but if I were to take off this shirt, I got abs poking through and everything, okay? But I refuse to call myself that I've achieved bodybuilding or body sculpting. Like, eventually this channel, obviously later now, I'm gonna have a workout routine. This is gonna be a daily thing. Eventually, if I can, I'm gonna devote my whole day to YouTube. And I'm gonna have several different things. I'm gonna have what's going on right here. I'm gonna have I'm rolling a cigarette, by the way. I'm gonna have what's gonna be yoga and meditation, and I'm gonna have a workout routine, right? I've also come to the conclusion, and of course, conclusion, not no, right? But that so I live in Alaska, right? And there was already indigenous peoples here before white man came, okay? They migrated here naturally. So I ask you, what is the #1 food source that exists in the whole globus, right? And that is insects, okay? A lot of people say that you're incisors. They're not meant to eat meat, but they're meant to pierce peach flesh or whatever. I think that your incisors were made for beetle shells, because every primate, and when I say primate, I mean like apes, gorillas, all that stuff. Every primate, everything that looks like 2 arms, 2 legs, eats insects. And so I'm interested in going into figuring that out and figuring out what can and cannot be eaten, and realize that insects multiply pretty easily if they're given the right conditions and whatnot. And insects have hive mentality, so it's easy to grow multiples of them and turn it into a sustainable food source. Like, what if we could take insects, right, which is something that's a pest, okay, figure out which ones of them are edible and good for you. And I really mean, I looked into it at one point in time. I'm sure all this kind of grossed somebody out, but I looked into it at one point in time, and grasshoppers and locusts are actually used to make make certain forms of bodybuilding powder. And if you've ever eaten a hot dog has no nutritional value, so they inject mealworm powder into it. So you've been eating mealworms your whole life. Seem like that should be doable, because I think that everybody should have the ability to have food, right? And at the same time, I think that everybody having the ability to have food shouldn't cost the average man money to do so. I think that it should be something that if it does cost the average man something to do so, then it's like a penny, right? And legit, you can grow bugs on a penny. You don't have to look very far before, I mean, you don't have to go very far before you look into bugs, but or find bugs. But the thing is that what you call it is that bugs, they don't, like I say, they don't require very much to eat, okay? And bugs multiply in abundance, and it's actually very hard to kill bugs, right? Like they say, the cockroach will survive a nuclear blast, okay? And maybe this is your nuclear blast. And maybe, I mean, in my own way, I guess I could say that currently I identify with I don't want to say I identify with the cockroach, because that's a pest of its own, but I'll say that I identify with the cockroach, to be quite honest with you. Currently, you have to live by your means. My means is like nothing. I'm rolling a cigarette right now, if I can ever get this damn tube on here. So put the tobacco in this, you clack it together, and then you put the tube on top and go almost like, I'm sure it probably sounds in there like I'm messing with a gun or whatever, but I'm not. I'm doing this. Anyway, though, insects are very sturdy animals, and they can withstand this whole situation of, like I say, financial disputes, bankruptcy, fleeting success, debt, family conflicts or burdens, instability, rocky or loose foundations. None of that matters to a bug. None of that matters to a bug. Like a prime example as far as with my current situation is, now I've always had selective hearing, but and I know that's probably what y'all would call a male problem, but I've always had decent hearing, and ever since I'm in this situation of being in this Jeep, it actually wakes me up when cars pull into the parking lot, right? I promise you, I can hear things. Like, I can hear things. I'm aware. That's what the bug has to do. So you need to focus more on being like that. Now it's, I promise you it's healthy, right? Like, there are certain resources that you have to figure out how to get to, right? But I do, and I have no issue, and I don't go to some shelter or anything like that to get what I need. The things that you need in order to survive are pretty easy, and no shame on anybody who does go to the shelter. I'm just saying, for me, I can't be around that many people at one time. I just can't, and so being in the Jeep is cool with me. And so I would say that you need to see. Now the way that works for me is that since I'm not surrounded around a bunch of people, right? Since I don't have a bunch of people feeling stuff in my ears and me having to figure out their problems, right? Which is important, because if you're surrounded by people, you need to know what their problems are, because you need to know if this person is a threat or not. The gamble and the risk of having more people in your life physically is actually something that you should realize is probably more than what you need. So your situation is that you have too many people in your life, or you have too many, like my dad used to always say, you can only serve one God, which, I mean, technically isn't true. They have religions based around serving multiple gods, so that's not true. But nonetheless, though, but you can only ride one horse with one ass, right? You ain't got two asses. You don't need two horses. At least I hope you don't. And so what it might be is that when it comes to insects, their communication, right, is specifically instinct based. They don't care about the in-betweens and the little things. The thing is, okay, what's your point? 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 And I think that what's your point is exactly what you need to hear in order to say when it comes to financial disputes. What's your point? What's the money? What are we doing here? Okay? When it comes to bankruptcy, are we at that point? Because I'm not saying that we're at that point. I'm saying that when the bank tells me I have to claim bankruptcy is when we're at that point. And then I'm going to be like, so what's your point? What's the bottom line? Where do we get to here? How do I get out of this? Is there a way I can work with you based on the income that I have? Okay, what's your point? Right? Fleeting success and debt. What's your point? What's the bottom line? What do I have to pay? This is what I have available to me. I need to be able to live, right? Family conflicts or burdens. What's your point? At the end of the day, I have to be able to live. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? I'm down to my basics right now, so I'm having any of this, right? And that's what I'm saying is you need to get down to the basics because you have instability, okay? But what's the point? Where is my stability? Even if I have instability, I still got my foot on something, right? What is it that I have stability in? Rocky or loose foundations. Well, loose foundations, we'll focus on that. So I got I'm supposed to walk in on Monday to Pizza Hut, and the man said he would send me the new hire paperwork, I believe via email, and it hasn't showed up yet. And so I'm hoping I got that job. I don't know why I wouldn't. Maybe they decided to go with somebody else. I have no idea. But I have my worries about that, right? I have my worries that I might walk in on Monday and hear that I don't have the job, and that can happen, okay? Because that's my loose foundations. But the point is, what's your point, right? I still have a job, and I'm still doing extra work at it, right? You see what I'm saying? You have to use all of your resources, okay? A bug or an insect is a very resourceful animal, right? A bug or an insect can survive when there's lack, and a bug or an insect can thrive when there's lack. So I would tell you to be like the bug and use your resources wisely. All right? Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. I love y'all. I'll catch you in the next one. Later.